Hello, Be Awesome listeners. This is episode 57 of the Be Awesome podcast. And today I am honored and privileged to have a friend of almost 20 years, Jay the Sensei Sullivan, dialing in to the Be Awesome podcast. Jay, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me, Josh. It's always good to spend time with you.
I've missed you, my friend. I haven't seen you in forever. This social distancing thing is making it difficult. So getting a chance to see you on video works wonders for me. Get my J fix.
Better than nothing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We ought to get everybody together on Zoom, I guess, right?
Well, you don't know this because you're a first-time guest, but we're actually working on a podcast episode where I'm going to have every one of my podcast guests on when this whole thing blows over, or kind of blows over, to have a unification and preparation for separation of Zoom calls. So be on the lookout for that for hopefully next month. But
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. We got to get the other J's involved. But to give everybody a little bit of backdrop, Jay and I have been friends for almost 20 years and become close personal friends, and Jay has started something that I think is just an amazing cause, Nan's Circle of Hope. So Jay, if you don't mind sharing what Nan's Circle of Hope is, why it was started, kind of the rundown of it all, and then we can get into some of the stuff you're doing today.
Cool, be happy to, Josh. Thanks for the opportunity as well. Obviously, my wife was a nurse for 41 years. She went to the Mount Auburn Hospital School of Nursing back when hospitals had schools of nursing back in the day. She graduated from Mount Auburn Hospital. She went right to work for Mount Auburn. She worked there for 41 years in a variety of areas: medical, surgical, oncology, telemetry. She was a very experienced, very good nurse, and she mentored a lot of young nurses as they were coming into the profession. She was very sought out for her wisdom and her guidance. She was well respected by housekeeping staff all the way up to the people in the executive suite in terms of the hospital because of her work ethic and what have you. She was a very, very popular employee at Mount Auburn, and she ended up having a diagnosis of cancer and passed away back in May of 2017 after working again for 41 years at Mount Auburn Hospital. So we decided to start a foundation, and needless to say, her grandkids called her Nan. So it was the Nan Circle of Hope Foundation. And initially, it was begun to help kids that may be going into the nursing profession. Because as a mentor to young nurses, that's one of the things that my wife was very proud of, to be able to help kids going into the profession. So initially what we wanted to do was to raise money for scholarships for students who are going into the nursing profession. And that has kind of grown over the last couple of years, in that we have not only given scholarships to kids, and we've given grants to nursing students every fall, but we also do a lot of things during Nurses Week, which is generally the first week in May. What we've done is we've provided like lunches at Nurses Week at Mount Auburn Hospital. We have done a lot. We've given a lot of gift cards to nurses. We have had nominations on our Facebook page to give away spa treatments and those type of things to the nurses in the nursing profession. Last year we had a planned lunch for all the school nurses in Wilmington and Tewksbury. We provided lunch for the school nurses as well. But since the pandemic, we kind of changed focus a little bit, and we're still going to be awarding scholarships, but we're going to be shifting our focus maybe to try to help first responders and those on the front lines. So we've been raising money to provide food, what have you. For instance, we provided dinner last Friday night to the ICU floor at Mass General, to everybody who works on that ICU floor. Again, we had it, obviously had it catered, we had it brought in, and they really appreciated that. And again, we're doing a dinner for first responders up here in Wilmington. We may do one at Tewksbury as well. We're going to continue to work for Nurses Week, which is going to be coming up in a couple of weeks as well. And we're asking for donations as well as nominations. If you want to nominate somebody who you think we should think about maybe providing either a meal to in terms of their floor or what have you, or do something for a special nurse. We're always looking for those kind of things, way we can help out first responders, especially now that they're on the front lines. And we just thought, there's enough bad stories to watch on the news every day.
Yep.
Let's try to provide some good news to people. Let's take care of the people who are taking care of us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically how the whole thing began, to be quite honest with you. And it's, people, you've been involved in the golf tournament that we've had, last couple of years. We appreciate the support. And again, we want to do something that everybody can get involved. Not everybody plays golf. So, we just think we were going to have a trivia night again to raise funds, but that kind of got canceled with all this COVID-19 stuff going on. But again, we're just looking at ways that we can help those first responders, especially nurses, because obviously that's near and dear to our heart, needless to say. And, everybody who's ever been in a hospital knows it's the nurses that do all the work. So,
Yeah.
Trust me, I learned all about it from my wife, so I understood.
Yeah.
The docs are great and all that stuff, but the people who are on the front lines and have to go into those rooms all the time are the nurses. And they're the ones who get their fingernails dirty and do all the work. So it's, we have the world of respect for the profession, and that's what we want to do. We want to try to help and show our appreciation, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's, the amount of work that everyone in the healthcare profession, I think I told this story in a podcast episode or two, when Amy gave birth to Chance in 2017. We were at the hospital obviously for a number of days, and there was 2 shifts. Every 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. I think it was, there would be a new shift. And at the hospital they had a bakery on the lobby, and I would go down and I'd get all these pastries and muffins and things, and I'd put it on the desk, whatever, the check-in desk for the staff. And by the 3rd day they started calling me the Muffin Man. And by the time that I was leaving, one of the nurses came in and said, we really appreciate, you putting muffins and pastries out every day, every shift for us. There's a lot of times we don't even stop to eat in our 12-hour shift because we're going, nonstop. So we just forget about it. So putting it right there in front of us, we just, grab a muffin and we eat it. And you think about that, 12 hours of work on your feet, and you don't even take a minute to stop to get something to eat. Now, never mind the intensity that they're going through right now with, the constant calls and people coming in, the increase in COVID calls and things like that. I think this is absolutely an amazing effort that you guys are going through. So how do people get a hold of you to nominate or to I'll put all the links on there, but what's the best ways for them to get a hold of you guys or follow you guys along or get a hold of you?
Well, obviously we have a website, nancircleofhope.org. We have a Facebook page as well. And I would say that is probably the easiest way to kind of get a hold of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think the instructions for the Venmo was Venmo to Nan's Circle of Hope.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure I check that.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you on that as well. But I'm pretty sure it's Venmo at Nan's Circle of Hope.
Yeah, it's Nan's Circle dash of Hope is what it is. I just looked it up for you, but I will put that on. I'll put that all on the podcast page for you. And how long are you guys planning on doing this for? Are you going to do it, straight through until this kind of ends? Or are you going to make this a regular
Well,
thing?
yeah, I think we'll do it as long as this thing is going on. I think we have to be prepared to support our first responders. So, we'll try to come up with a myriad of different ways to try to raise money to do what we can to try to help, nurses and doctors, but as well as police and fire who are first responders as well. We're not going to not provide information, do stuff for them as well. They are the people that are on the front line every single day. Not to mention all the other people that again, it's not part of what we do, but you see the stories about people working in grocery stores and everything else. It's we can't do everything for everybody, but again, we're trying to at least with our foundation, we're trying to deal with at least the medical professionals and as well as doing some first responder stuff right now, because I think that's the most important, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's unsung heroes. There's unsung heroes everywhere right now that are doing amazing work, and you're right. The frontline cashiers and stockers of groceries, making sure that there's toilet paper stock, because apparently we're just going ballistic to make sure that we all have 7 years worth of toilet paper, and the truck drivers and the custodians, the maintenance folks that are on the front lines that I'm directly, I work a lot directly with. But that your efforts for the healthcare providers and the first responders, the calls have been coming in. I have a police scanner at home and I listen to it, and it's just I don't know how they do it every day. I don't know how they go in every day realizing that they are at risk of getting this terrible virus, and seeing a lot of people that are dying from this. I mean, you're talking about we had one senior health facility down here on the South Shore that saw 5 people die in one day. So it's just crazy. So that's a picture of me at your golf tournament. For those that are watching this on the YouTube channel, I'm giving some guidance on how far into the woods I hit the ball, and that I did it with intent. But your tournament is fantastic. Are you going to have another golf tournament this year?
Yes, we are. It's going to be Friday after Labor Day, back at the same country club we did last year. We'll be posting that on the website as well.
Yep.
And obviously, anybody who'd like to join in and play golf, they'd be welcome to do that. We'll be announcing that. That'll be on the website as well. So we're all hoping that by then we'll be able to congregate, because there's nothing worse than playing golf. So, golf is one of those things you could actually play and be social distanced, I guess.
Yeah. As long as all you guys hit in separate directions, you're fine, which is typically what my team does.
Yeah, well, it's if I had a club in my hand, it'll be the same way, because people would ask me, "What's your handicap?" and I would say my clubs.
Yes.
So yeah, I understand that completely.
Well, Jay, I got to tell you, I saw this the post on Facebook last week. I was just so inspired. I wanted to have you on, and I know you had some challenges last week, and glad to get you out here today to talk to the folks and share what you're doing and share the great things with Nan Circle of Hope, and continue your wife's memory in an amazing way of making a difference for others while supporting those that are taking care of our sick and those in need. So keep doing what you're doing, my brother. I'm right behind you in any efforts that you do, and I want to see this. I want to see some more folks get fed while they're working and taken care of. So we'll make sure to get this out to the masses.
And I appreciate that, Josh. And again, like you say, right?
And that is a first edition. You were one of my first purchases of the Be Awesome shirt. So you have the first edition, and it's holding up well. I like the thread count seems to be holding up nice. So you're a good tester of the fabric. So
proud to be aware of this, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, I appreciate everything you do as well, because you do a lot of stuff as well for to help people along the way. So all your efforts are appreciated as well. I appreciate the fact that you have me on today, just to be able to kind of talk about the kind of good work that we're trying to get done here. So it's really appreciated.
Okay. We're all in this together. It's
exactly. No question about it.
So I will never forget. I guess it was probably 2008 or 2009. when the recession stimulus and the E-rate and all that stuff was happening, and every school in the state of Massachusetts was confused and challenged. And I remember you stepped up back then to put on that webinar we did for every school. I think you got on the state to try to educate them and help them out. You've always been one to step up and help those in need, and having people like you in my life makes the stuff that I do easy. So, you know, I just follow along follow along in the sensei's footsteps.
Yeah, well, you know, we all work with some great, amazing people, and they always, you know, help us in this respect. So we really appreciate it. Again, it's all, and like you say, Josh, we're all in this together. You know, it's hard to disagree with that sentiment. So, and again, it's, like you've said, look at the amazing work. People making homemade masks and sending them along to people. It's the people just sewing and doing all that stuff. It's really heartwarming to see people really trying to step up and help in any way that they can.
Yep.
I just really appreciate it. Again, this is a tough time for people. People aren't working. You know, it's you know, I'm lucky that I have a job, that I'm being paid. I'm very lucky in that respect. But there's a lot of people that aren't out there. So it's, you know, it's just a tough situation. So let's all hope that this thing has a real short shelf life, to be quite honest with you, because, you know, we're gonna need some time to kind of get back to normal, whatever. And let's hope there's not a new normal. Let's just get back to normal, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to have a little bit of a new normal, unfortunately. I think that we will be able to get back out and give some free hugs to people and handshakes and high fives, but I do think it's going to be a little bit of time, and you know, people are going to be thinking about a little bit differently, and then this is all done, and finding new ways to do things. This has uncovered a lot for me professionally at almost 45 years old, of a lot of tricks this old dog needs to learn, and trying to do every day. So, you know, if you look at it in the way that we can come out bigger, better, and stronger, you will. And if you look at it in a doomsday prepper situation and stockpile toilet paper, then I guess you'll be in that position, and you'll be right on that one too. I guess it's all in the way that we look at it. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I am too. I just have so much respect for our elders who kind of went through some really tough times and stuck together and did what, you know, we should be following in their footsteps.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. My 98-year-old grandmother's next door, and we're like, hey, in order to be safe, you got to stay in the house. You can't do anything. You can't do any work. You got to just stay home and stay put. And she's like, what do you mean? I don't want to stay home and stay put. I want to do stuff. And it's like, you know, that's historically, whenever something hit, you know, you had to get in, you had to dig your heels in, you had to work harder, you had to grind harder, you had to think harder, you had to do all this stuff. And now people are like, hey, what? You mean I gotta stay home and work from home and use this thing called Zoom and find things to binge watch? That was my podcast last night with Candy Kelp, and you know, it's just different. You know, this struggle is very strange for people, that you know, the biggest complaint is that they have to stay home with their loved ones for an extended period of time. And you know, I think we're at the end of this, we'll either see an increase in need for divorce lawyers or an increase in need for OBGYNs and baby deliverers. You know, we'll see which one we find out on the other side of this whole thing.
Yeah, I was hearing that somebody was out in Vegas was setting a line on that. It was, you know, it was the divorces were minus 130, and I think the actual babies was plus 110.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's oh God, Vegas will put a line on anything when sports ain't happening, right? So we gotta figure something out.
They're going berserk right now.
Oh yeah. They can't even do new reality TV like Survivor or Big Brother or stuff to bet on because it's social distancing. So, you know, it's all stuck. Well, I will put all this stuff out here, my friend. I miss you. I can't wait to see you in person, and keep doing what you're doing. We'll get some money over to you guys to help the cause, and hopefully some folks that are here on the podcast will do the same and be able to provide some more meals for some folks that are hard at work.
I really appreciate it, Josh. It's a great way to get in touch with people and let people know the good work that's happening out there. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Anytime, we'll have you back on. We'll grab the other Jays. So that'll do it here for this episode of the podcast on a happy Wednesday. Jay's doing some amazing things, making a difference. Be sure to check out the links and the information on how to keep up with Jay and Nan Circle of Hope, as well as how to give. We'll put the Venmo out there and make a difference. This is really powerful stuff. A lot of people out there have been asking. One of the reasons why this hit me so quick was because a lot of people out there want to do something, but they don't know how, don't know where, don't know when. And this is something that can fill that void for you, that can make a difference, that can help people that are much deserving of what they're doing. So we're going to wrap this episode up. I got a great one tomorrow lined up. Local real estate agent Isabel Wilson is going to be on. I've got Mike Kelly from Bournes on Friday. We're going to take it back to Easton. I went a little bit outside of town here today, but we're going to bring it back local to Easton. As I always am saying, as long as we're in this and we're in this together, anybody in Easton, in the Easton area that's a business owner, that's a business person, that's a citizen, that's got a pulse and is happy to have it, and wants to tell their story, I can do these each and every day at 5 o'clock, and we'll put it out and share your story happily. So in the meantime, ratings, reviews, shares, likes, comments, criticisms, critiques. If you have a complaint, send it to josh@beawesome.com. Let's work through it first before you post it someplace publicly. Happy to hear and take anything that you got. And that's josh@beawesome.com. If you do a rating and review, both of those on especially the iTunes platform, I'll give you a free t-shirt. I got a whole bunch of them. T-shirt sales are down, so I got a whole bunch to give out. And as you can see with Jay, they hold up strong. So do that. Email me. I'll put one in the mail for you. I might even throw in a coffee mug if I got one hanging around. I think I got a couple of those. So in the meantime, if you can be anything, be awesome. Have a great day.